Tell me what you think mine is.
The time you found a wild badger in a road. Is that not it? Like, I don't know what's your dog.
Okay, I have to tell. Oh, we might run long. Fine, I have to tell that story now.
What's up?
I'm stressed now. I'm upset because of how. Well, because setting up and then the fucking t-shirt.
Well,
and
we
the
can't just
microphone.
introduce ourselves like that, can we?
I don't care. You went hyper and I'm like grumpy now because.
This is why we're doing this, because this has been our friendship for. How long have we been friends now? We didn't even do an intro. We just.
You can do the intro. You're the hype. It's going to take me 10 minutes to.
Hello, I did do the what's up, so I'm just like, hey, just going in dry.
Oh dear.
What? There will be no teenagers watching this, I assure you.
Oh yeah, there's no teenagers on YouTube.
If we even have like one person who isn't in our friendship.
True.
Welcome back, Dogs Can't Look Up. You're joining us because we are right in the middle of it.
Because you clicked on the video. Thank you very much.
You were moaning about something?
I was
like, you can't stop. Oh, you're stressed.
Those 10 minutes just because.
I was like, well, I have to raise a human, so I can't edit these videos.
No, yeah.
We have been talking about doing this for a long time. Welcome. It is episode 3.
I don't know anymore.
It is 3. Rob's having a nervous breakdown, but it's episode 3.
It's over something so stupid though.
We had a lost episode, and there was episode 0, and yesterday, well, I shouldn't say yesterday.
Doesn't matter.
A week ago.
Yesterday we recorded.
We're trying to make up because we know I'm unreliable.
Well, no, you went on holiday. Was the
and
main
then I
thing.
fell asleep. It's always me. I'm the common denominator. But anyway.
Yeah, so I got stressed because my t-shirts are the tops of the t-shirts aren't stiff enough to hold the mics, and I hadn't even considered that.
I mean, they're not.
And I bought a spare t-shirt and everything. No.
Man's. Oh, that's
I ain't got anything to show
I will
off.
just say
I'm not that
that's
bothered.
not.
They're all baggy t-shirts.
I've never found that attractive when guys wear it and you're just like, hey, I'm wearing.
They're like here on their
it's
arms.
like, are you going before a green screen soon? Like, like, why does it need to be like sculpted to your spray painted to your torso? Most of them as well look like nacho men, like Dorito people.
I know a guy that's
wide shoulders, no legs.
No legs, yeah. That's do you know Dan Bilzerian? That Instagram poker guy, whatever he is.
As we covered last episode.
It's so funny.
I worked for Loaded, so we did.
Oh yeah,
it was prime time. Oh god,
that's his thing, is because he's built up top, but he's always in shorts in all his pictures and stuff, and he's got like chicken legs.
It's like
he's got like chicken calves.
Swanson from. Is it Joe Swanson from Family Guy?
Yeah,
guys, if you're out there, anyone, leg day is fine to do as well sometimes.
Calves are really hard to build up though. The only people that ever get.
Have you seen salsa going? Get a bit of hip movement.
It's the cyclists, professional cyclists, like Tour de France guys, and their calves are like literal
women.
Literal wings.
Can we just talk very quickly? So the last, I don't know whether it was, I have a feeling it's post-COVID, but there was a woman who like accidentally like took out like half the Peloton.
Oh yeah, I fucking say that.
And then she like disappeared.
She had to.
She like upped and disappeared. She like went missing, and like
it was so dumb what she was doing. She had to go off the grid for like 3 months.
What do you think is like the dumbest thing that you've ever done, like that could be comparable to that, where you thought,
nothing even close, but no, because I'm.
Do you know what? Actually, I just thought of like last weekend.
Probably got loads.
I was it just thought last weekend. It's not even close, but on a thing of like, oh, why the fuck I do that? Like, we were in the range, and I actually the very very strange, like ironic thing about this thing is like I've always thought like. In my new house where I'm at, so new, I've been in there for a year and it's still not ready. Like beaded curtains in the kitchen.
Right.
Because it's like by the beach, you get a lot of like weird mosquitoes. So you get like some of them like 1970s, like.
Okay, yeah.
So I always like joked, and I'm like, oh, I definitely want some of them. And then we were in the range, and all in the range they've got is like these weird like carpeted version, like so basically like you know the weird tassels that your nan would have.
Yeah.
So it's got like them, but just like a million times like in it, like yeah, right.
Yeah.
But this one had like it was like silver and had like streams of like silver glitter going for it. And it was like left on the side, so we were in a queue, and I was like, "Fuck, my arms are like a fucking. I'm knackered. Like I'm carrying so much stuff. I'll just put it on the side." And then the only thing that was on the side currently was these beaded like tassely, and I went, "Oh look, you know, for that 1970s, your like nan's dead feel like beaded curtains." Like I was doing this, and I was making big fucking. Because they were gross. They were gross, alright? They were fucking gross. And then the woman who was literally paying for her stuff went, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's mine, I've forgotten it." And then, as if that wasn't bad enough, it wasn't like a straight up transaction. She was like, "Oh, is this, I thought that was on offer." Like, that said it was on offer. So I was like dying. I was literally stood there going, "Oh, well, good for you. Like, great for you." And then I like looked, and I was like, the thing is though, I like, literally said out loud, I was like, the thing is that I actually really wanted beaded tassel curtains, like beaded curtains, but they're...
You had to
and I was like trying to compensate, but at the same time I was like, should I just go to the fucking DIY section and get a shovel and just fucking dig myself into like, you know, that like
that's one of the big differences between us is I'm quite...
Well, you wouldn't be so vocalised about someone leaving a thing on there. I was like,
no, I'm not.
Picked it up and I was like, ha, lol, look.
It sounds weird and almost...
She literally went, "Oh, that's mine." And I was like...
I sound a bit almost sociopathic, but everything I do and say is like calculated. I always think before I talk, is basically what I'm saying. And because I'm not clumsy, I'm always quite...
Yeah, you are.
I don't put my foot in my mouth.
You're a fucking android, really.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, actually, I don't know. I think you're just a cautious person, aren't you?
Yeah,
really?
it's probably it's a built-up social anxiety thing, probably.
So
don't want to say the wrong thing.
I mean, we said we weren't going to go into like current events and stuff.
No, you say that every time. It doesn't matter that much.
We do touch on stuff because I mean, if you're watching, you can see the upload date, so people aren't idiots.
No,
like, huh, why are they acting like it's fucking? I mean, we could come in one day and be like, "Hey, so did you see that Justin Timberlake Britney Spears breakup, man? That was wild."
It's fine. The point was that I wanted anyone to be able to find any episode and be able to watch it, and it'd be fine. Like evergreen content, so you can come back 2 years later. If you find us in 2 years,
I mean, after the event,
it's so that we're not just talking about something that's only relevant for a week.
Well, I mean, it doesn't. It's sort of it's all hypothetical anyway. So I was going to say, as a because you are, as you just said, like a Android man.
I know you said I was an Android man. I said I had social anxiety.
Tomato, whatever. When World War III happens, because it will happen.
Oh, is this your segue?
So,
is this your little...
You're going to have to like do like a... Do you know the guy who invented Segways actually died on a Segway? He like drove off. He drove off a cliff on a Segway.
Who was it that fell off one? Was it Zucc? Was it Zucc that fell off one?
Did you just say...
Yeah, I said I'm trying to get Zucc in every episode.
I can't believe you did that. Was it Zucc?
Was it Zucc?
Are you mates with him? Do you fucking...
No, I like calling it... Well, the Zucc.
I literally was going to say... part of me was like, he's going to call him the Zucc in a minute. And I was like...
You got memory of goldfish. I've done this I did this in like the first 2 episodes. I called him the Zucc.
I do have the memory of a goldfish. I smoke a lot of weed. I am awake for 22 hours of the day. Raising a small human.
To be fair,
I mean, I shouldn't really be like, cool, controversial, smoking like, but you know.
You also don't go back through the videos and edit them. I end up rewatching.
I can't because I'd be annoyed at my stupid face all day.
The weird thing is about going back through them, I've said this to a couple of people now, is that I thought I'd hate it as well because I've never been one to get in front of a camera or film myself or anything. And now that maybe it's just like from growing up and being more adult now. I don't hate it. I rewatch our stuff and I actually enjoy rewatching it. And as self-serving as that might sound,
carry bang on the head.
As self-serving and as like egotistical as it sounds,
it's just comfortable.
Yeah,
I mean that's nice.
I'm used to my posh voice and how I sound on audio and stuff on mic now, so it doesn't bother me. Like, loads of people-
Anyway, how comfortable you are with your posh voice and probably Tory affiliations. No, you're
As
not
an
Tory.
Android
I know
man-
that would we be sat here if you were Tory? So I was going to ask, World War 3, with your calculated. So let's say, I don't know, so many. World War 3. So either it could be like the slow blanket of war, which is just gradual, or it could be like a boom, like Russia have dropped off a. Because it's.
Why is it
I say
gonna be
Russia,
Why
it's
is it gonna be
Putin.
Russia, huh?
But it's
Why-
Putin. It's not going to be Russia,
Why
is
is it gonna
it?
be Russia? Could
Well,
be China. Could be North Korea.
Because who started a war on a sovereign nation in the recent months, last 6
Well,
months?
it's not.
Anyway.
Hitler.
So let's just say like World War 3, and maybe we've got to like conscription point. But you've
I'd hang
been.
myself.
You'll just flee to the woods. Start.
End of the episode. Yeah, done. That's the topic.
Dog.
I would.
You've just been waiting for an excuse to hang yourself anyway, Rob. Come
I
on.
wouldn't hang myself. Hanging yourself is the worst way to go.
Well, I mean, you just got
Not
to do it
worse,
right.
but
Just good at knots. Like if you're good at knots, then you can just do it
I'm
one
gonna
clean
put a
break.
I'm
Like,
gonna have to put a trigger warning on the front.
oh,
of this episode
if come on, everyone wants to kill himself. Sometimes the world's a horrible place. This
True.
needs to be. This will be a clip when you're going to be like, this will be a clip. Anyway, yeah, trigger warning, but also the world's a horrible place.
now.
This is so my
I'm
tattoo on my elbow just is attempted murder. Well, apart from the heart in the middle, if you've got a cobweb.
Oh,
spider.
as a prison.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
A prison affiliation.
Is it, did you have the book from all the Russian, or did you tell me about it? Maybe there's a literal published book of like Russian prison tats and what they all mean. It's quite interesting.
But this one is apparently attempted murder, or there's another one
Right.
which is like, you've actually been to prison. And I was like, well, at least I can go, well, I've not been to prison, but I definitely tried to like murder myself a few times.
I don't think attempted murder on yourself.
Well, no, it's
counts.
because I attempted murder on myself because I've attempted to kill myself, so I've attempted is murder, and it's not. I wouldn't have thought I've been really in my right mind. Anyway, so Third World War. Back to the.
So it depends on.
Do you
how it
think
comes
you
about.
would like ban? What? So the.
It really like I don't
Let's-
think there'd ever now be.
Let's say
with-
like society is starting to collapse. What are your first moves as an intelligent white male?
It really depends because the wars now are going to be so. I don't think there'll ever be another like world war as we knew it or even know it because
no,
it
it'll
will
be like it'll be really like insidious, like in a way that it comes in. It'll be like cyber technology.
the cyber stuff
There's
makes
a lot
it
of
weird.
drones.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think I'll ever be like called up. Like they're not going to call up all males
They
between
do think
18
there will
and
be
30.
boots on the ground, as they say.
Yeah, but they'll
it'll
never
be
do
like,
forced
but
conscription
the
again,
UK's
I don't
military is
think.
apparently the smallest it's ever been.
Probably.
Right, because who wants to go to fucking war?
Yeah,
the fuck?
but we also do keep out of stuff more than we kind of did before.
That's
in a
not
way.
really true.
Yes and
I
no.
mean,
in a
let
way.
behind the fucking curtains. Anyway, that's a different. So I want to go back to you personally, right? So let's say society has collapsed. The World War 3 is like, it's the France has fallen. Like it's real shit has hit the fan. Like, what do you do? Like Britain is about to fall apart, and we've still got Boris Johnson as a leader.
As in like.
Provisions.
Like supermarkets are empty. Like money
well,
is
no, yeah.
worthless.
So not even.
Clean
maybe
water
like
is
a
not
bit,
available.
Maybe a bit before that.
I think the big thing that people don't realise is the clean water situation is probably way worse. As in,
We're very reliant on the
yeah,
government.
and it's
Well, they
and
ditch a
the
shitload of like actual waste into their rivers and stuff.
Yeah,
now,
yeah, but
right?
I'm saying the actual like, what do you call it? Like the actual reservoirs and stuff don't hold enough to last very long. Is what I'm trying to say. So like if
sorry.
if all the water treatment works stop producing clean water like right now they all shut off because of some cyber attack or something, we'd have a week before we were all.
Right, but I mean,
if we were using it this current
So-
rate, so you could make it last
but
longer than that, but it doesn't last very
we're
long.
in England, right? So we live in Devon in England. So we are relatively, I mean, the summer is not summer. It's not like summer in fucking LA or Texas where you have no.
No.
So
I know,
you can make provisions in terms of fresh water.
Yeah,
like
but
you could.
But what I'm saying is the current clean water system in this country would not last very long. Even if they put us all on, you know, every house only gets a certain amount a day kind of thing. Also, the thing is water doesn't last very long once it's even cleaned. It has to come through. Like, it can't be stored. It goes bad, and it's not like actually drinkable. I used to work.
I was going to say you used to work for
I
some, but let's say maybe it's a bit like water's already been rationed because it's a war. Like let's go on a bit further from the water thing.
If it was going to get that bad that we had to be able to rely on ourselves, I would probably try and move out to where my dad lives out in the country, because it's not so hard to find. You would just live off river water. Water is the big thing.
People would
It's
be.
much more
What do you think would be the biggest threat? Would it
As
be
in
like starvation,
to match-
like illness, like the weather, people, no.
If it was like a full cyber attack and they're not actually like nuking the country, like if we're not talking about nuke.
Because everything is reliant on the internet, like
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
if it was cyber attacks data, they wipe out like everything, or our electricity grid goes
That's
down.
the thing
our
that I
water
keep saying
systems
though.
go
Like,
down.
what if there was not like a big Atlantis thing where everything was on the cloud and it? Anyway, carry on.
Because I think that's more likely. I think if everything did go to shit, that would be more likely than like everyone nuking each other, because it would literally be the end of the world. There'd be nothing left, and that's not like nobody wins, so nobody's gonna.
But
nuke
it's that thing
everyone.
of like, I think with Putin, it's that thing of like, and maybe I've talked about this before, but it's that thing of like, see the case of like the fucking boyfriend and the girlfriend's been like, no, you're fucking weird and abusive and I hate you and it's done, I'm never coming back to you. And then he fucking murders her and he's like, if I can't have you, no one can. And it's that thing, like, I think it's like he's got, because he's,
no,
so apparently,
no.
wait,
because they're too egotistic
and apparently,
to think like that.
But apparently he's got dementia, he's got schizophrenia, and he's also got bowel cancer.
Yeah, but they're still the egotism and the narcissism in leaders like that of countries like North Korea and Russia would never be a. No, I just don't think it would be I'm just going to take everyone out if I can't have everything like.
But he's been very vocal about the fact that if, for example, if Sweden joined NATO, Sweden and Finland?
It's all bluster. Like, I mean, it's not all bluster, obviously, but
saber rattling.
Yeah, because all he actually cares about is controlling everything in his own country and leaving a legacy of being an amazing leader that pushed Russia forward in terms
it's
of.
It's a very sort of archaic view of leadership in terms of like, you know, divide and conquer, like go out, conquer new lands, take back old territory, and like even the way that the media has sort of addressed like the whole Ukraine situation. I know we weren't going to talk about it, but it's so weird that we're in this fucking like that's the thing, like, because how much do you like in the. I think about this a lot because like in the 1930s it would have been much easier because there was a much more close-knit sense of community. It would have been, then you were much more reliant on the radio and the news because they were your only sources of sort of entertainment.
You mean to live under a war?
So you can kind of duck out here in terms of, because it's kind of encroaching, and it kind of felt like that for me when I knew that they'd finally gone in. I was like, well, they've obviously got people inside. I was watching, like, I saw a couple of news channels, and like Pakistan was saying how the West, ironically, the leader of Pakistan was saying how the West sees lives as disposable, and this was on, like, I think it was on Al Jazeera. So, and this is before RT got taken off the air because they got banned, and I was really surprised because. I mean, it's a Russian-controlled news television program, but it's important for the West, I think, to see how Russia are manipulating the stories,
but we don't.
And to remove that entirely from the.
We don't actually care about what's going on in their country. Not really.
I mean, that's a big we, because I kind of do.
No, like, I mean, as countries and militaries, we don't like whatever Russia gets up to inside of their own country.
Inside of their own country, but it's like every country. It's like when Hitler started killing people outside of his own country, it was like.
It still took a while.
Man.
Yeah, it did take a while for anyone to step in.
Because this is what I'm saying. So as long as you like, if you do things in house.
But we're not.
For example, there is a study which shows, and they talk about it in Seven. Actually, I say they. It's Morgan Freeman when he's like, "A woman's good and she screams for her." I'm not going to do his voice, but it's like, you know, a woman is getting and she shouts fire instead of shouts for help because she knows more people will come for fire. And it's that thing of like, if you live in a cul-de-sac, or like for example this nice sort of close knit, and you hear something going on in house, you're like, I'll just leave it.
Yeah. Well, as British people, we're definitely like that.
But there are a lot of. It's not just British people, it's countries.
Yeah.
Like,
but countries will turn a blind eye.
As soon as you go into the old other.
Yeah, of course, because until something gets public and the public know about it, they don't have to do anything. They only have to look like they're doing something. But it's also, it's not even visible.
Like. I need to stop interrupting you. I know I'm really bad at it, but I just get so frustrated because my main thing about the whole is like, if that. Like, what can you do with so many things in, like, it's so frustrating to live under our current government for me because, like, I'm literally poor as fuck, like, you know, like, I've got a kid, so I will probably have to make that choice when heating goes up again in October between heating and eating, and I'll probably have to skip meals to feed him, and it's not like some big sob story, like, I'm not playing, like, fucking Adagio for strings, because, but it's frustrating because you're like, if you worked in like a fucking phone shop and you were shit at your job, someone would come down you like a fucking shit ton of bricks straight away. And if you're in government,
you're at the
there's no, you know, like if you're at the top, you can.
While we talk about that quickly, can I bring up the local MP that ended up being, because there was local by-elections, there's two, wasn't there?
Because Ben Boucher is retiring now, right?
Oh no, but I'm talking about Tiverton Honiston area.
Okay, cool.
Did you not know the Conservative MP there and why he had to step down?
Yeah, sexual assault, or was
it?
No.
No, he got caught watching porn on his laptop in the House Commons.
Oh, it was him! It was literally him. That's hilarious because I heard about someone watching porn from, and I was like, who was that? Like,
yeah, that was Tiverton Honiston's Conservative
Amazing.
MP. I've heard this third hand. I haven't actually read this anywhere, but one of the guys I know was telling me.
Amazing, because I heard about this story, and it's been a joke that's gone around for fucking ages.
That bit's true, but what one of the guys was telling me was that his excuse was something about how he was looking up tractors and somehow ended up on like tractor porn. And that was like his excuse, and he tried to get off it and go back to tractors.
Just gets me going. Oh, honestly, like it's just an embarrassment at this point. Like people,
so but Lib Dem won in the end. It's just not conservative anymore. It's a Lib Dem.
It wouldn't be Labour either. Like
I think Tiverton Honiston was Conservative for like decades almost.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So end of the world again. We come back to loop.
If World War III and shit's going down and we had to...
You go to your dad's?
I would go to my dad's and live there.
Do you get a weapon?
Land. Oh, what, like you think we're going to be... No, I don't think we'd be invaded
people,
like
that's
that.
What I'm saying. Like, no, I'm not saying, but people, society's going to collapse, right? So people...
But you're now like talking like it's going to be the purge.
Well, no, I think like... but The Walking Dead is the point about The Walking Dead is it's not the fucking zombie apocalypse. It's the fact that it's people's... So you get like in weird situations you get like amygdala hijack. So amygdala is the fight or flight response in your brain.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like
medulla
oblongata.
That is.
So you get like amygdala is you get like panic. So right, I try and do this a lot. I'm like, so you get the cerebellum, the
Is this
pineal gland. I just name parts of the brain.
Is this the
and
fancy name for the fight or flight?
I think it is. Yeah, I
Right,
think so. So you get but they call it an amygdala hijack. So
right, okay.
Where your brain just becomes fucking, and you're like, so in the Bermuda Triangle, there's loads of ships that have gone out of this fucking triangle of, you know, Bermuda.
Can I just say quickly, the Bermuda Triangle is not actually a thing.
I also agree with you. But
No, I mean, it's factually
there's
been
been
shown.
a shitload of ghost ships, and it's just weird how
If you
all
want
these
to talk
things
about
happen.
the paranormal
No,
stuff that goes on there,
not
that's different.
paranormal. It's just it might be real life. There is just a weird abundance of what they call ghost ships where nobody's ever been found, and they're just like floating out to sea. And there's literally like 1,200 ships that have on record since like,
This is what
let's
I'm
say
saying.
1800s, where they've come across the ships and there's nobody on board. So one in the square, whatever, in the triangle.
You need
square.
to look up, because this is what I'm saying.
So-
is that's not true. That's
No. This is actual fact. This is not bullshit. They have drifted. They have like been found in that region, and it's not like.
I'm saying if you take the same square area, like if you put the Bermuda Triangle and plop that triangle somewhere else near a coast or something, it's the same amount.
But what I'm saying is,
It's
with
not
regards to this particular area, they're saying that it's unusual because in terms of other areas of the sea, it's that particular area in Bermuda where there are an unusual, anomaly.
See, I don't think that's what I'm saying. Is I think that's completely
But
bollocks. I think
it's not.
I
That
think I've
there
read
is
somewhere that
literally
it's
there's
the other
loads
way
of
around.
weird shit that has happened in this particular region, and part of the reason is
If you just look it up yourself. 'Cause
yes,
I don't
please
agree
do,
with
because
this.
I am right and you can look it up, and then you have to pop it up when you fucking edit it.
No, I'm not popping up shit.
So the Earth has an electromagnetic field that comes from
Yeah.
the poles and the south, but it also goes back in at the equator.
Yeah, that's what's
So where
happening.
Bermuda is, it's pretty much on the equator. So there is unusual electromagnetic.
Sure.
So what I'm saying is with regards to the ghost ships and stuff, so there has been unusual like wave activity. So there's a lot of weird stuff that's just happened in this particular area. But one of the things about the amygdala hijack is that when really stressful, unusual things happen, so like it could have been a rogue wave, for example, which happens at sea way more than people. Like there was one, I think, like 2 months ago in Albany, which was they do them like with the boys that are out at sea. So there was one like out in Canada, and it said it was like registered at like the size of a 4-story building, and usually it's like. So it just come out of nowhere. So there's loads of shit that can happen at sea, and I'm sure, and if you're like a seafaring person before now, when you don't realise that the moon, you know, when you don't have the science to back it up and you don't know what's what, like things would be terrifying. You'd be like, the monsters, or they're mermaids, or they're blah, blah, blah. So you get this thing called an amygdala hijack in stressful situations, which I'm sure happens on like planes or fucking trains or buses or whatever, where people think things are a sensible idea, which you like. I've done it like when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
When like
So
I'll
no,
order like
almost
3
like
coats.
your brain has an overreaction to a situation.
Yeah,
and then
because
it goes
it's a fight or flight. So
yeah.
and it's like, but it's
But
completely
the
irrational because
situation
also the stressful is because it's completely beyond anything that you've experienced in everyday life.
But if you went back to it, the situation doesn't really.
So I always
necessitate that.
counter that in terms of like, say, so there's a thing. So in 10 years' time, in 2032, there is going to be a comet that passes by called the
Bernardinelli-Bernstein.
Yeah. Okay. So Bernardinelli-Bernstein.
Yeah.
Bernstein.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing one's like white guy's Italian and one's the Jewish, maybe.
They definitely got together as researchers just so if they found something, they could be like, fuck all these people trying to say,
I remember that film Deep Impact where he was like, yeah, I got my name on a comet, but also the planet's gonna die. So they discovered this comet that has come. They said it's come out of nowhere. It's real fast. I think the difference between like an asteroid is that it's within our solar system, and a comet is like real high speed,
I
and
forget
it comes
what
from
the difference is,
outside,
yeah.
and it's like. So this is. So I think the one in the Yucatan Peninsula that killed the dinosaurs is like 7 kilometers,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I really need to be.
How?
I'm sorry, all right. I just
You
really
went
need it.
before we started.
Oh, I know.
You
I
have
just
to
wheels.
make- it's
I'm
like
sorry. I
taking a kid out.
had a giant child, so I need to find a place where I can just be like, boop.
That's now then, isn't it? It may as well be.
What? I need to wee sometimes. So, this comet that they discovered, the one that killed the dinosaurs in the Yucatan Peninsula was 7 kilometers wide.
Yep.
This one, at first when they saw it, because they obviously have to work it out, is they were like, oh, maybe like 60 to 200. Now, I think it's 230 kilometers
Nice.
across. So the good news is that if it is because they said it's heading straight for the sun, which it will just zip past.
Right. You know this happens all the time. There's lots.
Yeah,
there's lots of them that
But
get
what I'm saying
close.
is, it's so weird how. Because I was saying, let's say they found, like, did you see that? There was like a Leonardo DiCaprio film, like Don't Look Up, where he's like.
No, it's on my list to still watch.
Oh, so it's really good. It's actually really good because it's kind of talks about like.
Do you think everyone would actually we'd have the purge happen if we knew we were all going to die?
So this is what I was like trying to mine you for, because it's so fascinating to me, because
I think that's
let's say
question.
this was a planet killer in like 10 years, because it's definitely a fact. It's going to come by in 10 years time. It's coming past. You can Google it. It's got like a trajectory, and the maths supports its path.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I said, what's to say, right?
I like this
These
question.
two people,
I like this question
the
more
Bernstein and Bernardinelli, right? They found a comet. It's like Deep Impact, because that was the film that I watched. So this kid, it's like a kid and his friend, and they're like amateur meteorologists or astrologists, and they like they find this comet and they're like, oh shit. But my point was, when I was talking about it, when I first found out about it, I was like, right, it's so big, because the headlines were, it's heading straight for the sun. Not Earth, just the sun.
Yeah.
So it's obviously been leaked in someone, and the whole film about like Don't Look Up is they eventually leak the information. They go to the government and they're like, right, we found this comet. We haven't seen it before, because there's a thing apparently around our solar system which is called the Oort cloud. It's like a fence around our solar system. It's just like a ring of like debris or like rocks or whatever. So anything can get bumped out of there and like suddenly become a threat. So the film is about the fact that nobody really believes them, because they're from like, I don't know, that's Michigan, and they're like, you're from Michigan? Jonah Hill's in it actually, and he's really funny. He's like, it's like she is playing like a kind of very Trump, I can't remember, it's Meryl Streep maybe, and she's playing like a very Trump type Republican, who's like, well, you know, you didn't go to like Yale or blah, blah. And it's really interesting as a film, or as a concept, because it's not just about sort of like, it's not an action film in the terms of like, oh my god, dinner, race against time, bam, 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 bam. It's like how the cogs of the machine to save our actual planet work. So eventually you just become frustrated, because you can see actually that is probably how it would work. And because I was watching this film sort of post the information that I'd seen about this comet, I was like, actually, you know what, if these two people had found this comet that was like a planet killer, and they were like, look, we have to warn people, and then the government were like, or NASA were like, because they go to NASA in this film, and they're like, you can't just leak that information, it'll be fucking pandemonium. It'll be like Mad Max for 10 years, because they've got the maths to support the trajectory, right? Because they can work it out. So
they'd never leak, in my
head, they'd never leak the right coordinates. So I said, well, they'd probably just say, what about, it's for the sun. But also,
so saying
it's
that this
interesting.
One could be...
Just take a note of the news, because Norway's been preparing for Norway have got a big, let's say Scandinavia, I don't know. They've got a big like doomsday, like seed, grain.
That's been
like,
a thing for decades,
but-
that seed bunker
right?
thing. Yeah.
Well, but apparently it's also private. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But there's loads of like all the 1% have apparently suddenly started moving all their assets and building bunkers in New Zealand.
Where's my tin? Have you got some?
Yeah,
tin
right,
foil?
exactly. We'll be sat here next, like the guy, yeah.
Next episode coming to you from
No,
our
but what I'm
underground
saying is,
bunker.
like, actually, nobody would release that information, and the part of that is, like, I know a fundamental, just slap myself, because it would be fucking, like, anarchy.
Yeah, of course it is.
Because also you'd get people trying to hijack the scientists, or like, you know, like, so I was saying the reason like the scientists would leak the false information is because probably the CIA and the government were like, look, if you leak information that says this is the right trajectory, we'll kill your family, we'll kill, because that's what they're like. You can't. This is why we did the podcast, people, because the side.
All right, so let me get my
The
thoughts.
CIA would go after the families of the scientists. They would threaten the fuck out of them. The FBI, they'd go onto them and they'd be like, if you leak this information to the masses and you cause fucking, because that's actually part of it in the film. I've just remembered. So they're in the college campus and everything's died down. They've gone, look, this is coming. It's in 6 months, and then they're just like, nobody believes them and they carry on with their lives. And actually, the FBI come and fucking take them down, and they're like, you've leaked federal secrets.
Let me get some thoughts out of my head. Right.
Please do. Sorry, I've just.
I know. Where do I even start? Right. Yes. So the NASA scientists, to me, I would expect them to be under contracts where it's written into their contracts if something like this happened anyway. That
it's national security.
Yeah, it's an international security thing. So it would be written into their contracts anyway that they aren't just allowed to release this information themselves. It has to go through the right channels, because obviously it would cause all kinds of shit to go down. In terms of whether this one you're referring to is actually what's happening, and they're saying it's going to the sun, but that's what they would say.
See, I'm not actually. I don't. Can I just?
No, I know. I'm feeding
I
off you.
don't actually think that it's going to hit us. I'm
No,
just
no.
speculating that it's very.
But that's what you're saying. That's
big
what.
Fucking
And that is a thing.
spicy number.
If that's what was actually happening, so whenever it's meant to pass us is 10 years or something.
It is literally 10 years old.
So they would say, oh yeah, it's fine, it's going to the sun. If they know it's coming to Earth, they're not going to give us 10
exactly,
years.
That's
Yeah.
Because
So
they'd be
yeah,
like,
you could
da,
say.
da, 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 da.
My main thought on this, and I know you just like to speculate on this stuff. You're not actually like panicking that this is actually happening.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's not like I'm not panicking, because I've thought about it enough to be like.
Okay, so my thing is.
Where would I go? Like, if that was going to happen, like, you know, big.
My whole thing is though, is if we're going to speculate that this actually is happening and it's 10 years time, and they've said it's going to the sun, but actually it's going to wipe us out. If they release the information that yes, we are all actually going to die, like 6 months before it happens or whatever, there's no point for this like 9.5 years to even consider it. Like the thoughts, when I hear about that, or if I heard about, like, the thoughts don't even go through my brain. Like this whole conversation doesn't even, because I can't do anything about it. And there's no point in me speculating into this conspiracy.
Though, I agree with you,
like,
wholeheartedly.
But in my head, I don't even walk that path, that train of thought at all. Like, I don't know, I just don't. It's, if I know it's something that's so far beyond my scope of control or anything, that I don't even let the thought enter my head. Like, I don't even entertain it at all. That's how I am with everything. Like, if I can't.
It's so weird that people, like, because it's weird that then, you know, you have that sort of. I've definitely touched the mic then.
You're fine.
It's so weird that you definitely have that, like, sort of. You relinquish sort of control over some things, but then other things you're like, because I think you feel like you're.
Yeah.
But with regards to stuff like that, though, I think that's how you should think of, you know, that's how I have sort of reached the plateau of where I am now, because I'm like, you know what? A comet could literally smash into us. And why do I give so much of a fuck? Like, why I think about the one time I was weird and little to that one person, and I think about it so often, and I will never meet that person ever again. And I genuinely, it was such an uncomfortable, because I was like, ha ha ha, laughing, and she was like, oh, did you hear what he said? And I was like, no, but I just thought you look cute. And she was like, okay then, and like looked at me like I was a fucking alien. And it was like that bit of Jaws where I was like, boo, and I will think about that interaction.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I don't think about a comet. The fact that a comet could smash.
No, the fact you even brought it up, and that you can even go down the train of thought, even if like some of it's off the film and whatever, that just never goes through my head.
But maybe we should try and apply the feeling of, I can't control the fact that a comet might smash into us as much as I can control the fact that I might have been a little bit weird to someone one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I do pull that into my like personal life as well. There's not a lot that I'm like, I don't know, like, everything I say, I feel like I'm going to sound like a fucking sociopath. Yeah. It's the same as like
a case study for the...
I'm on like day release from a no.
I have to make sure that he's here.
Signed out, and there's a security outside, and yeah.
Well, no, he doesn't know that.
So my whole thing is, I very easily detach emotionally and everything from something or someone if I need to, because I feel like I can put those things out of my mind just almost immediately.
Okay, so let's say that there is like, so there is actual evidence the comet is coming. It's like, okay, so it's got like 48 hours. You know it's going to be like world ending event.
So if we get to that point,
yeah. What do you do? It's like,
what do
you're detached and you're, where do you go? Like, what do you feel like you wouldn't?
This is the whole. This is just the normal.
Not say like 48 hours.
It's your last day on Earth.
If you feel like
do
you feel like you could save yourself at any point? Like, do you feel like you have the like nose to?
I think you obviously you go through the whole. Was it the 7 stages of thingy? It would be that everyone would go through that.
So it's like denial, bargaining, acceptance,
anger.
So it's anger.
Acceptance is last, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's like anger, denial, grief, bargaining.
That's definitely the wrong order, but yeah.
I'm not doing it in the right order.
Okay.
Fucking hell, like Jesus Christ, I'm not Rain Man. I can't.
No. I thought that's how you were trying to remember by doing it in order.
Anger. I feel like anger comes first. It would always.
No, it's denial first.
Denial, anger, grief, denial. So it's what is it, 7?
Denial, anger, grief, bargaining, acceptance.
That's last. You said.
There's 7. There's definitely 7.
Funny TikTok is in there somewhere. Let's say that's 4. Funny TikTok of you.
That's so weird. I can't remember this. There's definitely 7. But I think you would go through that. You would. The first thing if you see it on TV.
Anger, betrayal. Betrayal, is that one of them? No. Denial. Denial is the same as betrayal. Anyway, why are we talking about this?
Well, if you would go through that. So when you first get the news, you'd be like, no, that can't be happening. And you would go through those stages first. Obviously, over the first day or 2 days or whatever, you would go through those stages. And then you would work out what you want to do. And I think almost everyone would just get together with their family. Like, do you not think? That's almost what everyone would do. I think there'd be very little of actually.
No, I
think the purge or.
I disagree, because I think there would be so much distrust in the media in the way that it is portrayed.
Oh yeah, there'll be thousands of people being like, "No, this is all bollocks."
But that's what I'm saying. I think there will be people.
But you think those people will still go about their normal day?
Yeah, it would be like the people like huddling together would be attacked by the people who have like taken on this vigilante weird purge, like. The media, the media's lying. Like, they just want to control us.
I think
make us kill ourselves.
I think it would be much less of that than you think, because I think before they ever announced it, there would be obviously way heightened
until
security
you could
army.
see it, until it came into like the Earth's like fucking atmosphere, like it does in the film.
I think at that point nobody's thinking about purging anything. I think everyone's
right.
scared.
So
as
you're
fuck.
you're
So
scared, and you're like, right, okay.
yeah.
So, but actually, you say like I don't think anyone's bothered about. I think people. There are some. You forget there are
There would be. Yeah. In major cities and
whatever.
Yeah.
Like really,
major cities
that's
and
what I'm saying.
stuff.
So
There
like,
would be
where do you
some
go?
bad
Like, where
shit
would you
down.
go? As you right now.
I mean, we live in like it's one of the safest places in one of the safest countries in the world.
The thing is, people would always have like, oh, that special place, and because the world, especially like England, like densely populated, like you can have that special place. Like there's people, you know, who probably all made out in the same place for the first time because there's like makeout points.
I think there'd be
and
less.
you're like, oh, I'll go to the first place that I made out, and it'd be like crammed, and it'd be like a fucking festival, and then people would be like, fuck you, this is where I want to die. And they're like, no, I wouldn't die here. I made out with my wife Leslie here for the first time. And they're like, fuck you. And then it just becomes like a brawl because people are like, this is my, you know what I mean?
Nah, definitely not.
Okay.
No.
I just thought it might be like that.
Nah, I think everyone...
I'm just chill in the garden.
They'd obviously be... Yeah.
I just carry on as normal, I think.
I think, yeah, because that's where I think everyone would end up doing that. You'd all end up at home with your family and you'd probably... I mean, sad to say, a lot of people would probably be trying to watch the TV and see what's happening until it happens, or listen to the radio until it happens, because there would be a live feed of it.
Yeah, there would be a live. This is the thing.
And
this is the situation. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be watching. No, I think people would actually turn it off. I disagree.
Maybe some people would. I think
most people will be like, you know what? We know it's coming. We don't want to watch the countdown.
Maybe not.
I think most people would be like, let's just fucking embrace. Let's go for a walk. Let's play a board game.
Yeah.
Let's eat a meal. Let's do some normal shit.
That's
you
what
don't
I'm
want
saying.
to be sat watching your own fucking demise.
Maybe not. Okay, that's fair enough. But that's what I'm saying. Is I think it would be a lot more normal than you think. Inner cities.
Yeah,
there
actually,
might be
the
some
memes,
shit go down.
The memes, because you just sort of sat there like holding each other's hands, like.
I mean, it would be like that.
Yeah, I think actually you're right.
It depends on when if it's like a week or a month from that. But I don't think they do that.
I had a really like quicker. I was really stoned, and I was saying that this fucking Oort cloud. I was like, there's a reason there's a ring around our fucking solar system. I was like, because humans are parasites. We cannot be trusted with our own planet. We are like not even slime mold. We are like an awful intelligent parasite which like takes over and like consumes it, sucks everything out of the good, like sucks all the goodness out. I mean, we have good points, but predominantly it's like, you know, like a cancer can be malignant or benign, right? So I think predominantly like humans are a cancer. And if you think of like the old like Romans or like Greek, they had the Gaia is the planet Earth. She is a sentient human.
Yeah.
Not human. How can I say human?
Yeah, sentient being.
Sentient being, sorry. And humans are the sort of cancer in her. And she every so often has to like purge herself with like a flood or.
You should play Final Fantasy 7.
Oh, I know. I would love. They talk about Gaia in like Immortal. Just to go back to video games, like Immortals Rising.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah,
but Final Fantasy 7 story is amazing.
So it's really interesting to see how like mythology and a potential science.
But this is because people have been doing this conversation for like thousands of years.
But this is what I'm saying though. So what's to say that humans aren't really sort of a parasite? They've just sort of evolved to a sort of like, you know, and that's what the weird thing, like maybe the Oort cloud is so that we can't actually go to other planets. And
oh, I see.
So the really super, and I don't believe this, but there is this sort of theorized.
I'm
go
bracing myself for this.
So there is a theoretical, hypothetical thing called the Galactic Federation.
Yeah, right.
And it's basically a council of galactic elders,
right,
that watch over. Anyway. So in the same way that, like, you know, like when you put a fence around you, like, don't let the illegals in. I'm in Texas. I'm gonna put a fence around my shit. You know, what if they didn't be like, right? So this Oort cloud, it's just debris and shit. But you know,
and this is being put together by the.
We'll just leave it.
This has been put together by the Galactic.
And if they get too out of hand, like
Federation.
they've gone to Mars now, so just keep an eye on it because they've got 6 other shit planets that don't mean fuck all. But we'll just.
I feel like this is how I feel if I ever try to explain an anime plot to anyone that doesn't watch anime, because it's very much kind of like that.
Like,
you just look at it.
I actually think like Japan, China, like the Eastern religions, like the West has stolen so much. The West is like millennia behind the Eastern religion.
Our mythology's crap because it's all based off of
acupuncture. Like I was so sick when I was pregnant. I went for acupuncture, which was sort of really poo-pooed in the, you wouldn't go to a GP and be like, how about some acupuncture?
Yeah, no, they won't give you that.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And actually, yeah, there's so much that needs to be uncovered.
I can't get it out of my head.
In the West, I say uncovered, that's not the right word. It's
accepted.
Relearned. Accepted. Yeah.
Just quickly, what was your point about the Bermuda Triangle? Just about fight or flight?
The Amygdala Hijack, yeah.
Right.
Look up Amygdala Hijack. It's when people like
term.
It's when people basically like when people think like, oh well,
it's a very primal.
It might be a good idea if I drink the water.
It's a primal response. Yeah, it's to do with your adrenaline and noradrenaline in your brain. I think.
We should.
And how it reacts.
We're gonna wind up now with your we've been going enough time.
You didn't even look. How long have we been going? Yeah, we've been going.
It is.
It's like top left somewhere.
1 hour 20 minutes.
Really? Okay, fair enough. We're gonna wind up with my what?
Wind up with. Have you ever to your conscious? You have. Adrenaline. What's your most adrenaline filled? I know. I'm going to give you what I think would be your example.
My most adrenaline filled moment.
When you're like fight or flight.
Mine's really dark though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me what you think mine is.
The time you found a wild badger in a road. Is that not it? Like, I don't know what's your job.
Okay, I have to tell. Oh, we might run long. Fine, I have to tell that story now. Fuck, I always forget. Yeah, no, but that's not the one. My one is another time. We'll give that one, I guess. So I was 15 or something, I want to say. I must be 15. I'll try and keep this as short as possible. Mum and Dad was separated from when I was 11, so I was living at my dad's. And my mum lived like 5 or 6 miles away. But I used to go and in the village she lived in, I had a couple of mates. And I used to go stay around one of those mates all the time. It was like one of those, he had an American mum, it was a very walk-in house. Like you walk in, everyone treats the house as their own. Right. Anyway, so it was like, I'd had like an argument with my dad, nothing stupid. And at 15, this is so embarrassing. Even at 15, the whole story is terrible.
This is why I just literally touched my phone. I was like, this is why I was like, this is gonna be your fight or flight. I want to know afterwards, like when we cut. Like I want to know what your. Okay,
I'll tell you after, but I will tell that on the podcast at some point. Okay, so I had a fight with my dad, and I was like, I wait.
Fuck you, Dad! I'm leaving.
No, because I'm not like that. I'm not confrontational at all. So I waited till everyone was asleep, and I packed a bag and I walked out. And because it's not that far, and it's all lanes. Well, it's good like 5 or 6 miles. To walk to this mate's house who lived in the same village as my mum. It was like 1 in, and it's obviously pitch black because we live in the country. And I was walking down the road, and I've walked in push bike down this road hundreds of times, and I got maybe half a mile down the road, pitch black, and I heard this like. You know how dogs sound when they run on concrete or like on the road or on the pavement and stuff. The claws on the ground from behind me, and I was like, but it didn't sound big. Like you could tell it wasn't like a big dog or something. And I knew there was a dog that lived on the farm that I just walked past, and I thought, fuck's sake, it's that dog. And it got up to me. Wait, I can't remember how this story goes now. I think it got up to me and ran past. No. I then heard a second lot of claws on the ground coming from in front of me. So then I was trapped. And they both came from like either direction, one from in front, one from behind. Bearing in mind it's pitch black and I had no idea what these things were. And I'm like, fuck, it can't be the dogs. And then I realised as they got close enough, because I could just about see like 10 feet in front of me, and it was a badger. The one behind was still further behind. The one in front got right up in front of me. And if you've never seen badgers or met badgers in real life, they're actually scary, and like they carry all kinds of shit.
Rabies.
They got rabies.
Yeah, that's why farmers kill them.
I booted it right in the face.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would boot it. I'm glad I would boot it. Yeah,
call Peter, call whatever
I'm really
you want.
sorry, but I would if I was that like. They're feral.
Shat myself, realised what it was, knew it wasn't a dog, realised it was a badger.
They're big though,
yeah, they're
right?
huge.
Yeah, they're big as fuck.
Booted it right in the face. It went into the hedge, like off to the left.
You were playing too many water crowd, like.
So what happened was then I didn't kill it. It stunned it, and I was like still shitting myself. I heard the other one like turn around, like it must have turned around and run back the other way. Because I was like about to turn to see if the other one was coming, and that one got up dazed, and I was like, I'm gonna have to fucking kick it again, stamp on it now. And it turned around and ran back. So they both basically got to me, turned around and gone.
Where did you go then?
I was like, for fuck's sake, now I'm like trapped. I was
like
on either side.
Imagine, like you got boss level.
I walked a little bit further up the road and sat on the top of the highest gate. No, I didn't cry. Sat on the top of the highest gate I could sit on with my legs like up, like on
like you're in Jaws,
like 3
second
foot,
Jaws reference, but like this fucking shot. Yeah.
So I'm like 3 foot, like 3 or 4 foot off the ground.
Fucking shit myself.
At like 1 a.m. And then I rang my dad, who I walked out on. Fuck you down, like leaving, like, and I rang him, and at this point I think he knew I smoked, but he didn't really, like, I'd never smoked in front. He'd never caught me or
Can we
anything.
just clarify, when you say smoke, cigarettes?
Cigarettes, yeah. I
smoked in a Marlboro, like, big whoop. If you were like in the Victorian age, you've been smoking opium since you were 8, so smoking a fucking Marlboro.
He'd never seen me smoke. We'd never discussed it. He'd never caught me or anything. But it was the first time, and I was just chain smoking on top of this thing. And he walked up, and he saw me, and I had a I almost called it the wrong word, not the American. I had a cigarette in my mouth. Yeah, I had a thing in my mouth.
Why is that?
No, I know.
Oh, is that a YouTube thing? Like they might.
I don't know. I might bleep it. I don't know. But yeah, so I had a cigarette in my mouth.
We are British though, like a British colloquialism is you had a f in your mouth. I was smoking a f.
I don't know.
I would say I was smoking a f. And
You're going to make me bleep it so many times if I have to bleep it now. I don't know how YouTube treats it.
I was smoking a cigarette.
So I was smoking a cigarette.
A manufactured Marlboro, Benson and Hedges, whatever manufactured brand cigarette.
Yeah, he walked up and I was smoking. We never discussed the smoking, and I was like, we just walked back. And then at that point, I was crying because I was emotional about the fight. Well, I was emotional about because I can't argue with my parents. Like my dad, I've never argued with my mum, but my dad and I butted heads when I was a teenager, and I can't argue with them.
You don't want to get to that point with your parents. It's stressful.
No, yeah.
You had to even leave, like the
but
fact
I would
that
just
you were
cry.
Tiny, yeah.
If he shouted at me, I can't. I would never shout back. It just used to make me cry. I'd never get my own words out, give my own side. It would just make me emotional.
So did you?
So I cried on the way back, and then we went to bed, and nothing ever.
Did you tell him about the badger?
Eventually, yeah. I think the next day I told him about the badgers and stuff, and then nothing was ever discussed about it.
So I mean, I know that wasn't the example that you were going to give, but
I mean, the fight or flight when there's a couple.
So was that a good example? Because I was like, I thought that was going to be give the one because you were like, I don't remember. Yeah, right. And I was like, but you brought it up to me, so I thought in my mind that must have been enough trauma or whatever it was to be like that was a fight or flight.
Yeah, but it's been a while since I've told that story, to be fair. But
what is your fight or flight? Let us know.
Your most,
like, comment,
subscribe.
There you go.
Share as well. We need to share.
Oh, I know.
Share it on.
Also, comment on my Jazzy socks. We've done it.
Yeah. So
Fight or flight?
fight or flight. I will, and you can remind me if we get through another couple of episodes and I haven't told the other story, but I will tell the other story.
No, I was going to ask when we go outside. I just don't want to go.
I will tell you the story. But yeah, so thank you for watching.
It's goodbye from me.
No, I'm not doing that.
No, why don't you just go goodbye from me?
There's no chance I'm doing that one.
It's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from him.
All the links in the description. Thank you for watching. Bye.